Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This video will be a continuation from last week's about the Mexican artist Frida Kahlo and how she has demonstrated power through the suffering she endured during her life. So if you haven't already watched it, please do and come back to this one when you are done. This video's focus will be about how she demonstrated power through her disability. The reason for this chapter is to look closer at what exactly caused Frida Kahlo so much pain physically. This will aid in the research into her suffering and why this physical pain did not deteriorate her completely but made her powerful. Frida is an icon of female suffering. She contracted polio from the age of 6. This made her right leg to become very withered and short than the other, and ultimately amputated in 1953. As previously mentioned, Frida always wore the Tijuana dress, but not just because she felt she had a close link to her Mexicanness, but also as a consequence to her disabilities. She knew that wearing these dresses would conceal her leg and endorses the fact that fashion empowered her. Indication of the suffering that Kahlo underwent is also apparent in her orthopedic devices. She wore special shoes that were slightly raised on the right side to disguise her unevenness. These shoes were not only useful but beautifully crafted and carefully decorated by herself, demonstrating her aesthetics always. This shows us that she never lost sight of who she was even through her illness. At the age of 18, a devastating accident occurred when she was travelling on a bus when there was a collision with a tram, and a handrail ended up impaling her pelvis. As a result, she had 30 operations and had to stay laying down on her back for months. Her father gifted her paint and she started painting all of her casts. Her mother also placed a mirror on the ceiling so that she could see herself better and see if there were any empty spaces. She then moved on to painting on canvases. Her injuries and operations became the forefront of the reasons behind many of her paintings. It was because of this unfortunate incident that she started painting. It was her calling. Identifying disability as one of the key themes in Frida's life, you begin to understand her true power. Throughout her life, she insisted that she painted her reality and so did not create surrealist art, normally centering on dreams and illogical scenes. An example of a notable painting is The Wounded Deer, 1946. In the painting, she fuses her head with a deer and is pierced by 9 arrows. Frida painted this after a failed operation on her spine, and she was in even greater pain. She chose to present herself as a deer, as they are strong animals full of energy and life, but in the painting she is pierced with 9 arrows. The deer is brutally injured, and circumstance looks despairing. The painting represents Frida's inescapability to control her own destiny because of her disability. However, painting what she thought was her destiny gives her all of the power, as she could paint whatever destiny she desired. The only limit was herself. In conclusion, the action of painting for Kahlo relieved pain. In essence, the artist's self-portraits have come to represent what is considered her real pain, as well as her imagined and self-inflicted pain. Ankori explains in her book, The Body in Pain, The Making and Unmaking of the World, 1987, pain destroys language. Pain is incommunicable. Beginning with that fact that pain and suffering is extremely difficult to explain in words and destroys language by diminishing victims to incoherent positions of mumbling and cries. Frida has taken this suffering and instead of communicating it in an ordinary approach, she becomes extraordinary and shares her pain and herself to the world. Her disability becomes her superpower. If it was not for her accidents and suffering, she would have never had started painting, and we would have been deprived of her existence. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have learned something new about Frida Kahlo that you didn't know before. The next part will be out next week and will be about Frida being a wife to Diego. If there's any other artist or designer's life you want to learn more about, please leave it down in the comments below. I would really appreciate it if you would leave a like, please subscribe and put your notifications on so that you can be notified for when I next post. See you on the next one. Bye!